This production is for adults only.
Have you seen the Slash?
Made by users for users.
Engineered for flavor.
One of the coolest features around.
A built-in loading tool.
Learn more at www.stonesmiths.ca. Who grew it? What's the terpene profile? Who created it? What is the lineage? How much THC? What's in a name? This is Know Your Buds, a close-up look at cultivars you should try. Or try again. Joining Dean is our educator, Chris Ianson.
Once again, very happy to be joined by my good friend Chris Ianson, Regional Manager with Plant Life Canada. It's been a couple of weeks since we've chatted, so great to chat with you again, Chris, and great to see you. You're up in Fort McMurray right now with the Plant Life family.
Yeah, Dino, that's right, I am. I'm up here. We're doing a POS change in some stores here, and I'm meeting some of the team too, so it's been an awesome trip. I haven't been up here for quite a few years. And really, I guess, interesting, also devastating to see all the fires, all the trees kind of along the way, and the damage that happened from that. I didn't get the chance to see it up close. So, but yeah, very cool to be here. The teams here are great. We've got 2 stores in Fort McMurray, and they're both awesome.
Awesome. That is outstanding. And I love that you're getting to see so much of our province with your new job. And hopefully very soon we'll be able to do these in person once again. Hopefully we can get things a handle on things with COVID-19 and get back in studio. But until then, we'll take you on the road as you're heading out. And today we are talking about something called Lemon Berry. It is a 60-40 sativa hybrid, and it is from the brand, the LP Ness. So I'm always loving the backstories behind the different brands or the different cultivars or the names. I think this one has a good one as well. But tell us about the parent company of Ness.
Yeah, for sure, Dean. So the parent company of Ness is Bizam, and that's the parent company. And they were started in 2019 out of BC. They're a privately owned company. They've got just one single investor. That's it. So you can't get stocks on Ness right now. And he's the single investor. He believes in medicinal cannabis. And after doing some research and kind of looking into things online, I tracked down it's Kuwaiti billionaire Bassam Al Ghanim. And so he's come over to, he's got some money invested in this. He's kind of passionate about medicinal cannabis and decided to, hey, I'm gonna invest some of my money into a cannabis company. So it's pretty awesome there. Who's running the company, Dean? Is the company's run by President Matthew Milich, and he's based out of LA, and him and the corporate secretary Antonio Moschella, and they're kind of running the crew based out of Canada here. Solid team of people that I've met so far from Bizam. Chris Howes, the regional sales manager in Alberta, is a solid dude. He's got a true passion for cannabis, which I love to see in my reps. I think that's so important when reps can come in and they can talk weed at my level, right? And they care about it. They consume enough cannabis. I think that's great. So big fan of Chris and the folks over at Bizam.
It's so wild to hear you say that there is, basically one single investor, no shareholders. I'm like, have you ever heard of no less a cannabis company, but most companies have, some sort of, big companies in this size have some sort of. So that is truly an amazing story, and I know we're going to have a really cool story about what where their facilities are a little bit later on. But that's wild, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I was very surprised to track that down. I've seen some neat articles. I just love that, with that believes in medical cannabis thing. I'm sure he's had a moment in his life where it affected him. Where a lot of folks that way kind of change your views and perspective on cannabis by kind of seeing the effects firsthand. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, no doubt. What's is the story, if there is one, behind Ness?
Yeah, so Ness is their recreational brand, and it's got a cool focus on what's your Ness. On the website, they kind of list, uniqueness, snazziness, happiness. It just kind of depends on where you're at in the day. I think, Dean, my Ness is stonedness. Definitely, I'm a big fan of that's what Ness does for me is. Gets me stoned. They offer right now here in Alberta, in the Alberta market. We've got dried flower and vapes from them, and pre-rolls are coming soon, Dino. And they're going to be doing a 10-pack of 0.42 gram joints. So we're going to have 4.2 grams of rolled cannabis, or 420. So I think that's pretty cool.
I think that's an awesome idea. You know me in cannabis branding. I was right in there with Rio Bravo, which I actually picked up some of the other day, and it was my nice penmanship of Rio Bravo. So I always like to have some Rio Bravo and some Blue Dream on hand. But I think that's great marketing, and it's really cool. I mean, we've seen, is it Redican that came out with the 10 packs of the 0.35s? Is that, or 0.3 of a
That's
gram?
right.
Yeah, so I think those are really good.
0.35.
Yeah, 0.35. Yeah, I think those are really good. I think those are a good idea. They're the slims. Sometimes you just want a quick in and out, the old in out to get a joint. So I think that's a really good idea. The 0.42 grams.
Yeah, and also very shareable too, right? You get to be like Oprah if you're at a social function. You get a doobie, you get a doobie, you get a doobie. We'll all stay 6 feet apart. Keep things safe for the time being. So
Yeah.
super cool.
Yeah, I like that. Everybody gets their own joint, which we all need right now. So we talked a little bit about what they have going with some of the new sort of pre-rolls and vapes. But what about cultivars rather, other than what we have going today with the lemon berry, what else do they have coming down the pipe?
Yeah, so super exciting cultivars coming down the pipe. There's going to be a gelato mint, a chocolate cheesecake, one called Nice Cream, and there's a treasure chest, Granddaddy Black, nut butter, sour strawberry too. So just all mouth-watering cultivar names there. Just all kinds of flavors, man. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, we're going to have to actually stop this right now. I'm going to go eat because you've made me so hungry with all those cultivar names. Man, that... I love that. Like treasure chest, like Granddaddy Black. Like, I know you're interested in that because I know Granddaddy Perps is just one of your favorites. And I have to think with a name like that, there's got to be some GDP in there.
Yeah, absolutely. I will be trying this one. That's a guarantee. As soon as it comes to market, it will be getting destroyed with fire and going into my lungs. And
Okay.
I will tell you all about it.
All right. I hope it's on this particular program. So, okay, so we know what they are growing. Let's talk about how and where. And I think this is a story people are really going to dig about one of the facilities where they grow.
Totally, Dean. So how they grow, it's all hydroponics, which is awesome. It's kind of a soilless way to grow, with the roots just kind of sit in water and it's cycled through. Occasionally, they will use aeroponics too, which is it's a step up, and that's kind of like a nutrient-filled mist flowing through kind of a tube that the roots sit in. So two really kind of optimal ways to grow cannabis. So well done, Ness. Where they grow, Dean, they've got 3 indoor facilities right now. One's in Edmonton, Alberta here. And it's a temperature controlled environments to keep ideal terpene content. So what I was kind of explaining that there could be some grow rooms that are just a couple degrees warmer than they need to be, and you're going to burn off some terpenes. So they really monitor that at the Edmonton facility. So super cool there. They've got a facility in Maple Ridge, BC. It's near Victoria, and that's their new indoor facility, as well as a facility in Saanich, BC. So 3 indoor facilities. And then they've also got this outdoor facility in Midway, BC. And the outdoor grow license just got received. So they're going to be going full tilt on that here, sure, probably in the summertime. Super neat story about this facility, though. ZAM purchased the Midway Hotel, which was near the facility in Midway, to provide housing for the workers. And it's quite an old hotel, built out of like what is very Western, I guess, around even like a spaghetti Western hotel. To provide housing for the workers that were going to be working there. And just the neat thing about this hotel is the previous 4 owners of the hotel were not able to make it successful. And some say it was due to the curse of the ghost of Charles Tomei, who was the one-time owner of the hotel, who was gunned down in his own bar in the summer of 1908 by 2 masked men who fled by horse to the U.S. border and were never seen again.
See, that is the stories I come to this segment for. I mean, here, that sounds like a great place to, obviously they have some great Ness products, but as I said before, a little Rio Bravo at that hotel, it brings the whole Western theme together, maybe some El Dorado or whatever, but I absolutely love that. I also think it's a very smart thing that they are doing and providing housing for their workers to stay there and keep them happy, and, they can avoid the ghosts, everything will be great. But another classic great story that has a connection to the cannabis industry. Smart and very cool as well. So I really like that story about buying the hotel. I especially like the ghost story that you attached to it. I want to go there now.
Yeah, right? Yeah, totally. I mean, what if that ghost likes cannabis? Like.
Yeah, maybe he'd be like in like a scary movie too, where they roll up Marlon Wayans and smoke him, right? I just did that guy as my cannabis character recently. So maybe that guy just likes getting high. The ghost he's passive now. He's relaxed, right? He's got some cannabis. He's relaxed. He's not into haunting anymore. He's just into chilling out.
Yeah, totally, Dino. There is one other facility worth talking about with the ZAM, and it's their processing hub in Pitt Meadows, Vancouver. That's where we get all their vapes from, and we are going to be seeing new hardware coming on the vapes too. So three kind of awesome facets to their business there. Yeah.
Okay, so the website is exploreyourness.com. I tried to load it up into our system, but I couldn't get past the age gating. For some reason, the system that I'm using in that website did not agree. But we can tell you, like the packaging, and we see that here on the screen now if you're watching, the website is full of colors. It's got some pretty cool different features. Maybe there could be a little bit more information about, how their process is, but still, I really like the website. What about you?
Yeah, Dino, aesthetically, it's one of my favorites. I like all the vivid colors. I'm a big fan of all the fonts that they use. It's kind of reminds me of like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory a little bit. There's kind of a real funness to the font, I think, in the website. I agree with you. I'd like to see a lot more information, just, the facilities, some shots, maybe meet the staff type of thing. And maybe that's in the works. But I feel like they really nailed the branding for me. I love seeing that in cannabis.
I love the Willy Wonka reference. That's absolutely brilliant. And
right?
If there was
that's all I think about.
Yeah, I just think about going to some sort of our cannabis tour at Atlas was awesome. Now I'm expecting every cannabis tour to be like a Willy Wonka and have like a drink fountain coming down that Veruca Salt is going to jump into or something like that, right? I love that picture. But you're right. The colors, the font, the branding, as I've said several times, I think the worst thing you can do is have a white tub that's sitting out there, something to stand out and grab people's, even if they ask about it, they might think about it and come in and grab it the next time. They might be coming in for something different, but that catches their eye and it's something they're going to think about. So very, very smart, and the colors aesthetically on that website are awesome. So again, that's exploreyourness.com. So let's talk about a little history with lemon berry. Lay on us what the lineage is.
Yeah, so lemon berries a cross of lemon Thai and Dabney Blue. And so lemon Thai is a Thailand sativa crossed with a Hawaiian land race, and it actually originated in Hawaii. And the Dabney Blue is a blueberry crossed with an unknown cultivar, but it's known to taste like blueberry muffins. So kind of mix those two together. We've got the lemon berry there, Dean.
That's so interesting. So, is the Thailand is Thailand considered a landrace strain as well?
Yeah, it would be, yes. Yeah, for
Wow.
sure. I should have mentioned that there.
But that's so cool that you have, two, and for maybe for those that are kind of joining the show, maybe explain, a landrace strain and what makes them so unique and sometimes rare.
Yeah, for sure, Dino. So landrace strains are cultivars of cannabis that were originated and came from that specific part of land. So we've got like Hindu Kush, we've got Mexican, we've got Colombian, we've got Thai, Hawaiian, and these are all cannabis cultivars that were found there. That's where they came from, and the genetic background of them is just going to be that. It's just going to be Thailand or Hawaiian.
Okay.
Kind of like the OGs of cannabis cultivars.
Indeed, yes. Thank you very much for that explanation on landrace. And as we move on to THC, this batch that we have that I picked up from Plant Life Jensen Lakes today is 22.7, but they've got some batches on the way with some really interesting numbers as well.
Oh yeah, batch is going to be coming up soon here, so we'll probably see it in a week or two here in Alberta. 23.6% THC, but a whopping 3.8% terpenes. So to me, that I think my bag here smells amazing as it is.
Mm-hmm.
But you load it up with the terps for me. I can't wait. I'm gonna have to pick some up.
Well, it's interesting.
Yeah.
One of the I don't know if I would ever say there's a side benefit of pneumonia, but one of the interesting things is I've actually taken down the temperature on my Supernova, the Volcano Hybrid, and I'm tasting more terpenes because of that. So it's an interesting thing. I used to be a guy that was pounding it out at like 200, 215, 220. I just like the taste a whole lot better now that I've lowered the temperature on my Volcano Hybrid. So and that's where the THC is great, but the terpenes and the taste and the flavor is really starting to become something I really enjoyed. I never ever thought of that before, pre podcast when my cannabis knowledge was here's $50, right? So it's amazing what you start to appreciate more about the plant the more you get into it and learn about it.
Yeah, totally, man. Yeah, I mean, same for me, buddy. Getting into the cannabis industry and all the stuff that I've learned too. But what a big factor the entourage effect plays in the outcome of consuming cannabis. So yeah, obviously some cannabis with some higher terpene concentration is going to hit you a little bit harder. It's going to be a little bit more fun. I mean, I would go lower THC, higher terpene percentage all day, every day, instead of a whopping THC. So
yeah, I'm with you on that. What's in a name with lemon berry?
yeah, so it's pretty much a genetics name there, Dino. Right? We got the lemon Thai, we've got the blueberry, the Dabney Blue. So yeah, it's just a food and flavorful, just like the bud is, I think.
Mm-hmm. All right, when we take a look at this, let's start with the packaging. First of all, we talked about it. It's bright. And it's a resealable pouch. It's a great size actually for 3.5 grams.
It's spot on for a 3.5 in my opinion. Like it's as tight as it can be, and it's perfect. Like it doesn't take up a lot of room. You can ship it in a small case. It's great.
All right. Then when we open it up and we take a look at it, what are you seeing with some of these buds? And we'll get a couple of close-ups as well as we go.
Yeah, so for me, I got a very nice eighth of 3 really good sized nugs in there. Really nice trim job. Super dense nugs too, right? When you grind it up, it just fluffs into a big pile. Light green on the color with some orange pistils kind of in there. covered in trichome, really good trichome coverage there. Oh yeah, you can see it right there on the photo there.
Yeah.
It's cakey.
It is indeed, and I think I got to echo what you said. The trim job on this is pretty spectacular. So, good job on that. The pistils really stand out, and on that close up, when you know, as you should always try to do if you're interested in cannabis, take a look at it under a light or a microscope or something like that, and you'll see things that you never knew would be on your cannabis that make it all so tasty. And speaking of that, let's get to the terpene list on this one for lemonberry. What do you got for us for terpenes?
So we got caryophyllene as the dominant one, and that's black pepper spices. Limonene is next, and that's going to be kind of a citrus fruity flavor and aroma. And then the third terpene listed is a new one, Dean, we haven't talked about on the show yet. It's called camphene, and it's new. It's not to be confused with camphene. So there's a spelling difference. So camphene, the terpene, is with an E. Camphene with an I is actually a popular lamp fuel from the 19th century. Don't want to mix those two up.
No, yeah, it replaces. You definitely don't want to mix them up because the camphene that used to go in lanterns is highly flammable, which is why they stopped using it and went to kerosene. So it's good that we straightened that out before this segment.
Yeah, totally, Dino. And camphene's found in fir trees, rosemary, and sage. And chemically, it's very similar to pinene, actually.
Mm-hmm. I think it's also found in citronella candles as well. If you're sitting around trying to get the insects out, from what I've read, there's some in the citronella that you'll smell. And obviously, Plant Life in every retail store is focused on recreational cannabis, but I'm going to list some of the therapeutic benefits of the terpene camphene. And that's the beautiful thing about terpenes. They don't just give you that great smell and that great taste, but you also can get some benefits, particularly something like caryophyllene. This is from Weed Maps that I pulled this off, and obviously a lot of this still needs some research, but things like athlete's foot has been shown, and some eczema for skin situations. It's an antibacterial, as one study has found, an antifungal, as I mentioned, an antioxidant. Citrus oils, including sweet orange and lemon, are known for their refreshing scents, and then combined with citrus oils, camphene has been shown to reduce the oxidative stress that can lead to tissue damage, respiratory, cardiovascular treatment, inflammation. So it's been known to benefit with a lot of different things. So this is a brand new terpene that I didn't know about, and one of the things that I love this segment for is that we are learning so many new things, and just another one that I'll put on my list to try and look out for a little bit more. So the information is out there, right? And this is just more proof that this is our 82nd episode, Chris, and this is the first time this terpene has come up. So we're going to be discovering more and more about this plant as we go on.
Yeah, totally, Dino. I mean, at this point, I don't even think we know how many terpenes there are, right? It's like 200 to 300 terpenes, but we're just scratching the surface here. So, it's super cool to be seeing new terpenes out there, and I think that's something we're going to see more in the recreational market too, is talk about terpenes as well.
Yeah. All right, so the smell, I cracked this open and I gave it to Nosy McGee right off the bat, as we like to do. That's my wife, Trish, who doesn't know anything about the cultivar. She's just a blind smell, and she was like, wow, that's a lot of pine. And I thought, oh, there's going to be pinene. And then I looked more about camphene, and that's that pungent pine, like really, really strong pine. So that's certainly what she got, along with some citrus. What do you get when you smell it?
For me, Dino, I got sweetness right off the hop. I was instantly kind of reminded of vanilla. That's kind of where my nose went. I did get some citrus notes in there too. And I didn't get any pepper or spice, really at all. So, I just got like an abundance of sweetness when I smelt it. Super enjoyable.
Yeah, it's funny how, caryophyllene is the leading terpene, but I too didn't get a whole lot of peppery spice off of it as well. But and mixed in with everything, maybe some of the camphene, I think, was really, really overpowering for me anyway. After the grind, I really, really got that pungent smell of the pine, and I think that's something that people should always do too. I like that term that you used. It fluffed up really nice after the grind, and it's strong, man. That pungent smell is really, really strong. So, what about the taste? What are you getting for your taste? I'm firing up the Supernova. You can tell me about your taste, and then I'll tell you what I get.
For sure. So for me, taste wise, delicious. The right off the hop, it's super sweet and it's tasty. I get an initial sweet spice kind of off my, and I was consuming it in joints, Dean. But I get right off the hop, a sweet spice going in, and then kind of a fruitiness on the exhale. Reminded me of the blueberry, like that the blueberry was in there on the exhale. So kind of sweetness all around for me, and I found it to be very smooth too. Smoking it through a joint, just nice, easy smoke on the throat and lungs.
I tell you, I got the whip going. My guy Gage at Plant Life Jensen Lakes, where I picked this up from today, he got me going on the whip.
Whip it good.
Whip it good, yeah, indeed. You know what I got? This might sound weird, but it tastes thicker. The vape tastes like cookies and cream vanilla, and it just tastes a little bit thicker. I don't know if that makes any kind of sense, but that's the taste I get. I get strong vanilla in that for sure. What about your experience? What was your experience when you had this first time?
For sure, it gets me going. It's a good daytime strain for me. So like initial head buzz right off the start. Lots of thoughts going on, but not too much. Whereas like I guess like Green Kraken for me, or the Green Crack, or some of these real buzzy sativas, it's a bit too much for my head, and I kind of I guess my head kind of runs away with itself. I didn't get that off the lemon berry, which is awesome for me. But it's still a nice productive strain for having some energy and being able to kind of be productive.
I found
I think
right
too.
Sorry, I was just going to say right off the bat, I found it very floaty. Like I don't know if the term floaty is like official or whatever, but that's what I felt. I felt like, I felt really light. Even sometimes you think a sativa is just going to hit you hard right away, and you're going to be like drinking 10 espressos. It was just kind of a nice floaty way to get into it, and then I did a bunch of research for this, so the productive side was you definitely nailed it.
Yeah. It's awesome you say the floaty thing. I totally got the floaty thing too. So it was just like, that was kind of after my initial head buzz. It kind of settled into this really relaxing, floaty body stone that just felt great. It put me in a really good mood.
Yeah, I like that. All right, let's get to the 3 W's. Who, what, and when is this good for? So who would you say this would slot in for? We usually go on the level 1, which is kind of the beginner. Level 2, obviously, you're a little bit more advanced. And then level 3 is kind of the really, really experienced cannabis user. Where would you put this on that scale?
So for me, it's an intermediate. It's a 2.5 there. I think it's just with it being a little bit of a sativa dominant one with a higher THC. I just think that if you're kind of just getting into the intermediate zone, it could lead to some paranoia, a lot of head activity going on there. But I think just a bit much for a new consumer on the who. What it's good for, Dean? Getting your focus on being productive. It cleaning the house. I know from experience, this one is good for cleaning the house. It's also good for making a list of all the lists you have. Just that kind of I guess that focus in the zone type of thing. I do think so. I haven't consumed this lemon berry in the summertime. It's kind of been a wintry one for me so far. I think it's going to be amazing come summertime. With some sunny weather, your toes in the grass and maybe some frisbee tossing. I think lemon berry would be great for that. And then when it's good for, Dino, is daytime use, for sure. I wouldn't recommend, puffing some of this and then trying to go to bed. I think your mind will kind of be a little active there, and you'll probably stare at the ceiling for a few hours. So, daytime, I'd say shut her down at about 8 or 9 p.m.
Yeah, so this isn't a get off the night shift before you go to bed and roll one up to help you relax. Even though it's 60/40, it's still pretty active with the high THC content. So I love the productivity, though. That's something that I definitely use cannabis for a lot. So really impressed so far with the lemon berry. I love the taste. I love the new terpene that we found out. I love the backstory. It's just great. Everything about it seems to be really, really cool. So we just got about a minute left. Tell us about what's going on with your new store and our good friend Gage.
Yeah, right. Real exciting news here. So we've got a new location opening up in Albany, just in the northwest side of Edmonton there. Plant Life Albany is going to be opening the second week of March. And I got to see the store a couple of days ago before I left Edmonton in its construction stage, which is super neat to see, kind of like a bare bones Plant Life. It's still got, the green on the walls, but there's still a lot of work to be done to get there, but it's super cool to see. And yeah, our friend Gage out at the St. Albert's locations there, this one will be falling under Gage's umbrella. So it's gonna be a great location there. He's already getting his staff trained up right now, and yeah, with Gage's touch on that store, I'm sure it's gonna do amazing.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of him. We talk football, we talk cannabis, and I know during COVID we try to get in and out as quick as possible and things like that. But I do kind of treat my local cannabis store almost like a neighborhood pub. I've replaced alcohol with cannabis almost primarily. And during COVID, you're not going to pubs, but that's kind of my neighborhood pub. Sometimes I try to pretend I'm Norm when I walk into the Plant Life store and I try to tell a funny joke or something. But, I go there for information. I go there for, socialization, entertainment. Once COVID is over, I think, I just wish we could all socialize right now. But I kind of treat my retail store like that. And I love to get to know the bud tenders and the managers. And I've really gotten to know Gage well. So I think he's going to do a great job. He's knowledgeable. He's passionate. And I'm looking forward to that new store in Albany for sure. All right. So this has been Lemon Berry. It's a 60/40 sativa from Ness. It's delicious, a nice creamy vanilla taste, and a very new terpene that we're just learning about, caffeine. Thanks so much for this, Chris, as always, and we'll chat next week, man.
Yeah, right on, Dean. Thanks for having me, buddy.
Check us out and follow us on social media at The Cannabis 101 on Twitter, at The Cannabis 101 Podcast on Instagram, and at The Canna 101 Podcast on Facebook. You can email us at cannabis101podcast@gmail.com.